Welcome everybody to Narration once again. Today I'm joined with Adeola Ayoola, who is currently working at Famasi, right? Adeola is also one of the founding people at Famasi, and we'll just have a discussion about what the company is, what they do, and basically their prospects for the future. But before we go there, Adeola, please can you explain explain yourself like on Blackboard? Who are you? Where are you from?
Right. It's great to be here. As you said, my name is Adeola Ayoola. I'm a pharmacist. I'm from Nigeria. I'm not specifying the state. We're one nation. So I'm from Nigeria.
Okay.
I studied pharmacy. I had my first degree in OAU Ileife. And yeah, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pharmacy Africa.
All right, nice, excellent. Okay, you say you're not going to mention the states. That's actually
So
but but I just want to talk about like maybe before your university, the schools you went to, maybe primary schools, secondary schools, and basically why you chose pharmacy, right, at uni, and how that was like as an experience in OAU.
interesting. So I grew up in Abeokuta and I had my primary and secondary education in Abeokuta. And
Boarding school.
Abeokuta is, oh no, day. I didn't go through all of that boarding school stress. I'm
But yeah,
sorry to those that did.
so it balances out.
Yeah, but no, it was a day school. I actually attended Catholic schools. I am Muslim, but I attended Catholic schools growing up because my dad believes that they had very high moral standards and the quality of education was great. So he didn't mind putting us through Catholic schools.
Well,
I'm sure if there was like a Catholic university, I would have attended.
can you explain that? Because I've heard, sometimes people say that, like, I'm Muslim, but I go to this school, right? Sorry, I'm Muslim, but I go to a Catholic school. But I've never actually had the opportunity to ask somebody, like, how that was like for you. Because you obviously have to do, like, maybe the Catholic rituals, the prayers.
Yeah.
So, what did that feel like for you as, a person? Just the duality
Let,
of.
let, let me make it interesting. I was born in a Catholic hospital.
Ah.
I was born in a Catholic hospital. I went to a Catholic nursery and primary school. And I think I've forgotten most of it now. But when I was in uni, I could like perform the entire mass. We had to do all of the, I mean, I didn't take Holy Communion, but we had to do all of the mass procession, Angelus, Lent. It was interesting. Um, I think it was really interesting because my school did not have that segregation thing where hey Muslims go for your own assembly. Everybody has to go through mass. You have to learn Angelus. You have to learn all of the Catholic prayers. Learn how to read the Rosary. It
But wait,
was an interesting experience.
who know you're Muslim though?
Oh yes,
Like
they did.
everybody knew.
Mm-hmm. We had like lots of Muslims in the school,
Okay.
and
But you guys have your own
they
prayer sessions, like.
oh no, they didn't care. Everyone was Catholic as far as they were concerned. You have to learn it.
So how did you pray, like on a weekly or daily basis in the school? Like you just find your own time to do that, or for that period you're just.
No, so for that period, you're praying as a Catholic because it was a day school. Once you get back home from school,
Oh,
you can go and say your prayer.
oh,
But in school, that's a typical example of when you're in Rome, behave like Romans. When you're in school, you're Catholic.
yeah. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, I forgot. I thought it was boarding school. Sorry, I went to a boarding school, so I have. I thought I could because I wanted to. If there's a boarding school, that would have been very interesting to know how you actually like to woke up with this whole procession of Catholic prayers and mass and whatnot.
Well,
With
that would have been hectic.
yeah, sort of. Okay, so your university, how did you get an interest in pharmacy? How did you realize you wanted to become a pharmacist?
Right, right. Interesting. So I mean, when you're in secondary school and you're about to leave, everyone is asking, what do you want to study? Everyone wanted to study medicine. I really liked mathematics. I loved further maths to the core. So I thought I was going to be a statistician. So I wanted to learn statistics in uni. But there was this big pharmacy very close to where we lived then, and it was big. The pharmacist there, who apparently was the owner, she looked really beautiful and nice, and she looked like she had her life together. Like it was exciting. Like, oh my god, this woman is big. She looks. I would like to be a pharmacist. No one ever told me what pharmacy was about, but I knew for sure that I didn't want to be a doctor. So it was between learning maths or statistics rather and studying pharmacy. Um, Pharmacy seemed like a professional course. That was what my mom said. Like, oh, you have to study a professional course. You can start up on your own. You can have this big pharmacy, and you don't have to depend on working for someone. It
Wait,
sounded like
Momsi did not see statistics as a professional course.
no. All of them were just wondering, why does this one love math so much? Oh, like I'll be a teacher. That was what they thought.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's what they thought. But I mean, I went ahead with pharmacy because I had that woman that I used to look at, and I thought this would be a great future for me. So why not? Let's go. So I applied to study pharmacy in uni, and thankfully I got it on my first try. Maybe if I hadn't gotten pharmacy when I tried, I would have had to think of something else. But thankfully, jam did not jam me. So I got in and I was offered an admission to study pharmacy in Ife.
Oh, all right. Did you ever get to actually talk to that woman? Like have a conversation with her or meet her face to face in real life? The one that inspired you to become a pharmacist.
Well, so it happened that the woman was my friend's auntie. And I just started asking my friend, how's this woman? How's she a pharmacist? My friend also wanted to study pharmacy because of her. So we just used to have all of those backdoor conversations. But thinking about it now, I never actually spoke to her about pharmacy and what it was like for her. I think it was just this admiration from afar, and I just wanted to be like, and she was very beautiful. So I thought maybe it was pharmacy that made her beautiful. Anyway.
I mean, like in the world we live in today, you can make yourself beautiful in many ways.
Right.
But okay, so let's compare now what I ordered versus what I got.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
What do you say?
So that's hard. I think pharmacy is a very beautiful profession. No lies. I think when I was in uni, I got frustrated at some point because pharmacy school in OAU was hard. I I was stressed. You know all those times when you're going to class. I'm sorry,
Did 4 or 5 years?
or 5 years
Okay.
without ASU strike. So with ASU strike, and they're spending 6 years.
Mm. Yeah, even lucky, I would say.
I heard. I mean, especially because in OAU, people had to repeat the entire year if they failed courses in pharmacy school. So you
Wow.
have to try to pass, and the pass mark sometimes was 60. So you
Mm.
had to try to do that. And I just started wondering, is it worth studying this pharmacy at all? Like, is it important at all? But I mean, I think that coming out of pharmacy school, it started to make sense.
Mm.
Um, the kind of expectations that people have of you.
Mm.
I I got out of directly facing patients as a pharmacist a while back. Yet everyone in my family and extended family, including my father's friends, all
Yeah.
call me for medical advice. They think that you have the answer, and when they come to you, you will provide an answer to them. You literally hold people's lives in your hands, and whatever you tell them is like rock solid. They're like, oh, my pharmacist told me this, or my
You've
dad
become
going
my
out.
pharmacist to them.
Yes. And then my dad going out and then he's talking. I was like, oh, my daughter is also a pharmacist. Come and speak with her. Know them. It's been interesting. I think that there is that high pedestal that people place you on and believe that when they come to you, you solve all of their problems. I mean, even if you can't solve the problems, but I don't think there's really any much difference between what I hoped for and what I eventually got.
Okay. So for anybody probably ancestry or something to listen to this, if you saw a woman and that's the reason why you want to study pharmacy, Adeola is saying pursue your paths. That you get what
Well,
you want. That's what I'm hearing, you know, and that's what I'm putting out.
I, I, pursue your path, yes. But look out for other things that might be interesting. I think what really helped me was I wasn't the typical pharmacy student. No offense to people that were typical pharmacy students,
What is a
but
typical pharmacy,
while
first of all?
you go to class, you go to the library, you go to your room, and you live that triangle life for 5 years.
Okay.
You have no time for extracurricular activities. You're just busy with book because you have to pass.
Mm-hmm.
I really wasn't about that. I wasn't looking to graduate as the best student or top the class. I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to get all of the knowledge I could soak in. So that allowed me explore other extracurricular activities. I used to write. I used to go for competitions. I used to do a bit of politics. It was interesting. It was interesting, I think. It was interesting. And it also helped me after school to get interested in things outside of just pharmacy practice. At some point, I was interested in data analysis,
Mm-hmm.
machine learning, product management, project management. I just had all of those things up my sleeve because I was always looking out to do more than just be a pharmacist.
Interesting. You sound like a 360 person. Like because I know pharmacists, like I have some friends, that either are pharmacists, right? Or some even that are because of the ASU strike that's still in school. Right. And they don't have time for you. Like if you talk to them maybe once in 3 months, you are lucky because once they are in school, it's like their phone does not exist to them again, and all they do is study, as you said. But you said that you used to write and you participated in politics. So what kind of things did you like? Fiction, non-fiction? Participating in politics, what aspect? Like, is it the campaign aspect that you wanted to actually lead some certain offices?
Right. So, for writing, I think that I was more of a creative writer. It was really anything and everything. At some point, I was writing stories. At some point, I was writing poems. Don't ask me to write a poem again because staff up has taken all of that. But at some point, it was those. At some point, it was articles.
Okay.
Um, Sometimes I was doing research because I thought that I could find a cure for HIV.
Mm,
Um, it was just a lot of different things. I also got the opportunity to lead the editorial team
mm,
in uni. So we're always putting out all of those articles and news and all those things for students to stay abreast of information beyond what was happening only in faculty of pharmacy. Then for politics, because my faculty was like isolated from the school, we had our own governing body in quotes, and I used to talk to a lot of them. I used to roll with a lot of them. At some point, I was helping with fundraising for association activities. At
mhm.
some point, my friend was the president, so I had to do. Oh God, I can't remember what my role was.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I led editorial team. I worked with the VP. All of those. Oh, let's get money for the association. Let's build pharmacy. Let's get speakers to come and talk to people about opportunities that exist in the pharmaceutical industry beyond being a retail pharmacist or a hospital pharmacist. going for all of those events so that you can come back and talk to students about, hey, there are opportunities in pharmacy. Just look beyond here and continue to persevere.
Wow. And you're a pharmacy student. I'm sure like some people that maybe you're even your colleagues that went to your same set or school and they're hearing all that you did while being a pharmacy student. Like you might just discourage them or like make them what they did, their capacity is too small. Okay, excellent. OAU, primary school and secondary school Catholic. How did you now come about with pharmacy, like your company? Right? How did you come about? So did you start from school, the idea? Did you start after school? What is the story behind it?
Right. So I recall one of those ASU strikes. I just wanted to get into pharmacy practice, but I was what in my third year. I didn't have that much experience. That was going to be my first job. So I was able to get into a family hospital, and I started going around on ward rounds with the doctor, trying to understand patients, trying to understand how they care for patients, and also dispensing medications at the same time. When I graduated, I went on to work with retail pharmacies, hospital pharmacy in a primary health center, a health tech startup. But one thing was common here. I observed that in every of those spaces, there were specific problems that they were trying to solve beyond just attending to the patients. In the retail pharmacy experience, sometimes patients come to get medications, but we were out of stock and we had to run around to get the medications to the patient, especially if it was an expensive drug. You would not want to lose that patient because you want them coming back at the same time. I'm sorry, every month. So we had that problem. That was a major thing. There were solutions that people were preferring to say, I'll give you loans for this retail pharmacy so that you can stock up on these medications that are unavailable. Yet it wasn't solving the problem for the patients. Yeah, we still had patients coming in and their drugs were unavailable. In the hospital, I was I worked at HIV and AIDS clinic of National Hospital, and we had all of the medications available.
Where is
It
that?
was free
Where is
in
the
Abuja.
okay.
Yes, in Abuja. I used to live in Abuja.
All right, nice.
Yeah. So we had all of the medications in the clinic, and HIV and AIDS medications are free
Mm,
by provided by the government. So we had these free medications and we had them in abundance. So patients had to come in every 2 months to get their medications. Um, Even though the medications were available, we still had patients that were not adhering to these medications. So now this problem wasn't because we could not provide the medication. It was now a patient problem. They weren't adhering to their medications for many different reasons. They
mm,
forgot to take the medications, they misplaced the medications. Because they were on HIV and AIDS medications, they were trying to avoid what's it called, stigmatization. So they had to store the medications in, say, their kitchens so that no one knows they're taking antiretrovirals.
mm,
Um, some of them didn't even understand why they had to continue to take antiretrovirals for the rest of their lives. This
mhm,
problem was same in other areas of the hospital, diabetic patients, hypertensive patients. So their problem was adhering to these medications, even though they were available, right? For
mhm,
the primary health center, I mean, we struggled with getting the medications available, but a major problem there was they could not afford what we had, even
mm,
though we had like generic medications. So there are branded and generic medications. Branded medications are typically more expensive than the generic ones. The generic ones are equally effective, but they are less expensive.
okay.
So for the primary health center, because of where it was located, we had generic medications that were easier to afford.
Mm,
But these patients also struggled with, they still struggled with affording these medications. Being able to afford these medications. They were too expensive for them. So when they get some money, they will rather eat with the money than get their medications. And when they have excess money, they'll probably buy their medications and continue to take it till, it finishes.
Mm.
What I'm saying in essence is all of these different phases of pharmacy practice, they had peculiar problems. And all these problems were affecting the health of the patients. Yeah. Um, I knew right from the beginning that I had a lot of interest. I was interested in being owning like five retail pharmacies at some point. At some point, I wanted to be a rep, distribute medications for pharmaceutical companies. Then
Mm.
I got interested in supply chain management.
Mm-hmm.
And having seen all of these problems, I just started to think about how including tech or infusing rather tech in pharmaceutical care could make a major difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you how pharmacy started. It was just a random conversation with my co-founder. I have known my co-founder for 13 years now.
So,
We've been friends. I'm sorry?
when exactly? So you have been friends like since secondary school, primary school, or when?
Yes, in secondary school.
Okay. Did you guys go to the same school?
No, but we grew up around the same area.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so we were having a conversation, and it was about how tech in pharmacy can make a difference. Then I started to share all of these problems that I had experienced firsthand. Coincidentally, he had to visit the hospital around that period, which was when COVID hit in 2020. He
Mm.
had to visit the hospital consecutively for 3 months because he thought he had cancer.
Wow. So sorry, this
Yeah,
your co-founder, I heard, right? So, but is he also a pharmacist or he's not a pharmacist? Like, did he
no,
study
he's not a
pharmacy?
pharmacist. He studied anatomy and health policy management,
Oh, wow, interesting. Okay.
but he was working as a product and growth person.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was just this conversation trying to think about it. And then he had to also go to the hospital. And then he realized that on his visits, they had to fill this book, like a log where they write why they are in the hospital. Of five names on that list, two of them were there only for refills. They
Mm.
were only coming to the hospital to refill their medications.
Okay.
And so he just circled back to say, oh, that problem we talked about, I also experienced it. People have to come to the hospital, and hospitals are no fun in Nigeria.
Mm.
All of those uncomfortable chairs, people have to spend all day just to be in the hospital for refills. So it just helped to broaden the conversation. I mean, our thoughts really on how to solve for this. Then we started to research other developed countries and see how they have been able to build a solution to solve this. We were only trying to solve the problems. We weren't trying to build a startup
Mm.
or, you know, run a business, that kind of thing. We just wanted to solve these
How
problems
did you
because,
want to solve the problem without starting a business?
I mean, so we thought we could find like a solution and just say, hey, people, so this solution, or I mean, it would help you get better health or something.
Uh,
It was really very random. I tell you, it was really very random.
okay.
We didn't even think that it was going to be as big as pharmacy is right now because we both had 9 to 5s, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just one of those side projects, like, oh, let's look into this and then we'll discuss later.
Mm-hmm.
Then we started to see other solutions. We saw pill pack, we saw true pill, we saw a lot of them, and we said, okay, let's see. We have identified these problems. Um, are other people experiencing the same problems? So we put out a wait list
Mm-hmm.
and said, oh, we're building Pharmacy Africa. This is what we plan to do. If you're interested, sign up.
Mm.
In a week, we had over 113 people sign up.
So
to use
Adeola,
the solution.
where did you send this? I guess the form or what? Like, where did you send it to? What kind of people? What kind of places did you send
So
it?
we use Twitter. We only use Twitter.
Okay.
So we put it out on Twitter and said, this is what we're building. If you're interested in being a part of it, please sign up here and we'll let you know what happens next. And then the sign-ups kept coming in 50, 100. Oh my God, it was a lot.
Okay.
But I think it just went ahead to show that the problems we experienced were not just for us.
Mm-hmm.
People have these similar problems and are looking for solutions to solve them. Pharmacy Africa looked like, and it is a solution for
Mm-hmm.
those problems, and they were very interested in buying it and even paying for the service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. This is what I love. Like now I understand. It gives a lot of context, right? And I think the fact that you explain how because even how you were, I would say in OAU, right, allowed you to be very involved and to notice things, right, that in maybe a normal pharmacist will not. I think there's also the problem that I'm glad you escaped, right, of courses that lead to jobs. I think is a major problem of professional courses in the sense that most professional courses, a lot of people that go there, right? For example, if you study law, right? I want to work in a firm, right? Or if it's pharmacy, I want to work in a pharmacy, or medicine, right? I want to, be a doctor in whatever hospital, right? But there's not really that creative or like okay, I can actually do this and get money out of it, like business and entrepreneurial perspective. Like it's like they limit themselves from the entrepreneurial side. And I understand that you guys, these were direct problems that you saw and you noticed, right? But I want to put it on the table that I don't think you'll have noticed it if you were not like that in OAU. We cannot know because we can't have an alternate universe to test it, right? But I think like just for maybe somebody listening here that just trying so many things, right? Even though it is hard sometimes, just trying them will give you an added advantage to notice other things that other people will not notice. Because I mean, you're not the only pharmacists that were working, in the primary health centers that you worked in. You're not the only pharmacist that worked, in the HIV center that you worked in at the end of the day, right? But why was it you that saw these things? Right? Why was it you that led an initiative for a conversation?
Right, right, right. I mean, so what I tell people, people come up to me and say, "Oh, I studied pharmacy. I'd like to be like you." Don't be like me. Look, I mean, I think everyone should find their path, but I think one advice that I got early on, which I totally disagree with, was that when you find a space you want to exist in right after school, just go full force into it and become a professional in that space. I totally disagree with it.
Mhm.
I understand why people might say that so as to develop like specialization in different areas, but I don't think that you truly really know what area you will um be most successful in when you don't try things. Um, being a pharmacist and getting into the tech space was hard because I mean, even now you see people that have been in the tech space for what 10 years, 15 years, and because of experience, they know these things. They understand how the space works. They have seen many different ways. Coming into it from from pharmacy, you have to learn how that system works and find a way to craft it around the already existing skills that you have. I don't advise that people just say, "Oh, I want to be a community pharmacist, and that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life." The pharmaceutical markets, the pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria is vast. And when I say vast, the market is projected to hit what $4 billion by 2026, and that's just Nigeria. The African market is projected to hit what, $60 billion. Is valued at $60 billion actually, and you still find that there is one pharmacist attending to 50,000 people.
One
There
for
has to be a way. Yes. And I'm not even talking about the
you know what
brain
this
drain
right?
happening in Nigeria.
So you see now why your father is like everybody's calling you my pharmacist.
Right? Right. Because and I was trying to say that I haven't even started talking about the brain drain where people are trying to jump back and leave for greener pastures. That means the space is huge. We have to be able to find solutions that make it easier for patients and people to access quality healthcare, even with the limited number of professionals to attend to them. So, I mean, I think if I had to do it again, I will go back and do it the same way. Try out many different things. Maybe get into tech earlier, but try out many different things. Be on the lookout for other skills. So try out many different things. Be on the lookout for other things that might be of interest to you, and just do it really.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about like your services at pharmacy. What do you guys offer? What is it exactly that you do? But before even that, like, how did you get to the point whereby because it's pharmacy, but it's not spelled pharmacy. So how did that come about as well? Maybe let's start with the name choice, before we go to the services that you offer.
Right, right. So for the name, remember I told you my co-founder and I were bouncing ideas off each other
Yeah.
and describing the problems, looking at how it can be solved.
Mhm.
We were just thinking pharmacy. If I pronounce pharmacy to you, it sounds like pharmacy, right?
Mhm.
Rolls of the tongue easy. And we're like, oh, okay, that sounds good. Let's search for the name and see if it exists or anyone has registered it and it was available. So, hey, pharmacy. And we're trying to build this solution for Africa. So, why not Pharmacy Africa? It
Mm,
was totally random.
okay. Well, I mean
Yeah.
that's one of the best randomness that you can get. Uh, all right. So, like, what services do you guys offer at pharmacy? What exactly do you do?
Right. So the way we describe ourselves, we say pharmacy is the OS for managing recurrent medications.
So the operating
Um,
system for managing recurrent
Recurrent medication.
medications. Okay.
Yeah. So our service is simply to our service is to simplify medications for better health for the patients. We are really focused on people that have recurrent medication needs. So people that have chronic illnesses or people that just need to take vitamins or some medications to continue to stay healthy. Because these are the people that interact with the pharmacy or hospitals the most. People have malaria and they have to go to the hospital, but what they might not have another malaria episode until like 3 months. But
Yeah.
for people that have diabetes, asthma, hypertension, they need to always take their medications.
Mm-hmm.
For people that have vitamin deficiencies, they need to continue to take these vitamins until the deficiency is corrected.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are the people that we're building pharmacy for.
Mm,
For them, they have a lot of worries. They have to, one, find the right pharmacy. The right pharmacy has to have the right medications. Not all pharmacies stock up all of the medications. They have to have these medications at the right price. They have to have these medications at the right time. So when you need the medications, it's available in that pharmacy. These are all of the worries they have to deal with first. Then they have to deal with their doctor's appointments. They have to deal with remembering to take the medications as they have prescribed. They have to deal with the side effects from these medications because many people don't talk about that. They have to deal with healthy lifestyle habits, because when you're taking medications, then there are recommended lifestyle habits to ensure that the medications are working. So they have all of these worries. And the way we say it, we say that these worries, did I mention that they have to deal with doctor's appointments?
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, they also have to deal with, say, laboratory investigations.
Okay.
While you're taking your drugs, you want to go and test and check that your blood pressure is normal, your sugar is at the right level, your other organs are not being affected by the drugs that you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
This entire thing, it makes it very cumbersome for the patients to manage. And that's what we're solving at Pharmacy. We're building what makes their life simpler as it relates to their medications. The person that has asthma does not have to go to the pharmacy all the time to get his inhalers, or someone whose parents have hypertension or diabetes. You don't want to have to worry about where your parents are getting their medications from. We're providing that convenience for you so that you don't have to worry about the medications at all. And to do this, we work with providers, we work with physicians, we work with employers, we work with payers, we work with caregivers. All of these people have a part they play in making patients healthy. The payer has to pay for the medications. So the payer can be a loved one, it can be one HMO, it can be an employer.
Mm-hmm.
They are paying for these medications because the people that they serve, they need them to be in good health.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the physician also plays a huge role, can be the doctor, the orthopedic, I mean, any of all of those people.
Yeah.
They are the ones that determine what the patients have to take.
Mm. Okay.
The providers, other providers, maybe diagnostic services, wellness services, gyms, all of these people are classified for us as providers. They all play a huge part in ensuring that the patient stays healthy.
Okay, let me ask a question now. So do you guys, I mean, the address on your website is Lagos. So let me just ask, do you guys only operate in Lagos for now?
Oh no, we are able to deliver medications to all 36 states in Nigeria. So
Mm,
here's how it works. When you sign up for pharmacy and to use pharmacy, we get all of your medication history. Because you have to take these drugs on a recurrent basis, we also understand when you need to take them, your dose, when you need to have the next doctor's appointment. And every month, we send your medications to your doorstep and we follow up with support. So
mm,
you're able to come in to drop your messages, a quick check in to say, I have been taking my medications. These are the symptoms I have noticed. You have challenges with taking the medications. Then there's a care specialist speaking to you to understand what's happening and how to help you better adhere to these drugs.
okay. Interesting. I just remembered I'll come to the cost and like a business model later. But before like I speak on that, can you just explain, right? The plans. I know you guys have today like the wellness care plan and then the special care plan, right? Can you explain like what the plans are and then like what are the things under those plans and why you guys chose these plans, right? So I understand that you guys are focused on recurrent medications for people that the diabetes, the asthma patients that need drugs monthly. So in relation to that, can you explain like why these were the things that you guys came up with, like wellness care and special care?
Right. So at first, we set out to build a solution for chronic care patients. Chronic care patients are people with hypertension, diabetes, asthma, ulcer, cancer, you know, all of that. We realized quickly
So I
that,
do that, but like even okay, so for the chronic care patients, how do you know, let's say the severity of the case, right? So somebody that has been an asthma patient for 10 years is different to someone that just found out this year that they have asthma. Sorry, that did I say asthma at first? So, ulcer patient, for example, right, for 20 years is different to somebody that has ulcer for that just discovered it this year. So how do you differentiate even within this kind of people? The extent to which the disease is severe is always chronic.
Right. So our approach is very personalized. There isn't, we don't we don't believe that there is a one size fits all for solving people's health needs.
Mm,
So someone who's had asthma 5 years ago and someone who has recently developed asthma yesterday might be on different medications or even the same. The severity of the asthma might be the same or different. In fact, people that develop asthma the same day might not even be on the same medications and might not have the same severity. So
mm,
our approach is very personalized.
okay.
We literally talk to the patients. We try as much as possible to understand where they're coming from. And that's why during the onboarding, you're speaking with a care specialist who understands a bit of medicines, but we also ask to speak with your doctor who has been managing your condition all
Okay.
this while. If you don't have a doctor, then we have a network of doctors that we have partnered with that you can speak with because we don't prescribe, we don't do all of those recommendations. We only give the medications as they have been prescribed. So, yes, the initial conversation is to understand where you are at, what you're taking, the severity, and what challenges you face. When we understand what those are, we're able to tailor a service for you.
Okay.
That means if your major challenge is adhering to these drugs, then we know how to help you on the adherence journey to ensure that you're taking the medications. If your challenge is struggling with affordability of the medications, then we're able to suggest alongside your doctor alternatives that are equally effective but less expensive.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't work in isolation. We work with every other person that's involved in ensuring that the patient is in good health. So yes, we have the split chronic care, sorry, special care and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I was saying, for we now realized we realized earlier on that there were some people who didn't have chronic illnesses but needed to take medications on a recurrent basis. I think with COVID, it was more apparent that people had low immune system and they needed to take vitamins to boost their immune systems. These people don't have chronic illnesses. They just need vitamins. So
Okay.
they need to be well. And then we categorize them as wellness. So they don't have these chronic conditions, but they need medications for certain things. There are women who need to take medications to manage PCOS. There are women who need to take medications to manage their menstrual conditions due to the severity.
Okay.
There are
Just,
pregnant women who need to take, I'm sorry?
yeah, just to ask a question there. So for this kind of people, right, so like a woman that, for example, has issues with her menstrual cycle, right? So does she pass through the same process as the chronic illness people? That's, the chronic illness with the patient, the doctors, knowing what drugs you take, blah, blah, blah. So if I just need vitamins, like, will I pass through talking to your specialist and then the specialist will recommend? Do I pass through that process if I don't even know what I need?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. For some people, they even have to run some tests
Mm,
because running all of these laboratory investigations gives us better insight to what's happening with you. When you run these tests, then the doctors can interpret and prescribe what you need to take, including vitamins. If there are deficiencies from the investigations, then the doctor knows to tell you to start to take vitamin C or vitamin D or zinc or all of those things. So, yes, everybody that signs up still has to go through that personalized approach. It is not only limited to people with chronic illnesses. Um,
okay.
for women that struggle with their periods, then we have partnerships with gynecologists so that they can properly assess the situation and prescribe the best treatment plans.
Okay, you can go back
Yeah.
to explaining the
Yeah.
plans. Sorry for
Yeah. So,
yeah.
oh, it's fine. So, yes, the wellness plans, then you have people that want to take vitamins because they want their skin to be in good condition. I mean, so it's not just creams, yeah. There are certain vitamins that help the elasticity of your skin, say collagen
Mm-hmm.
or all of those things. Yeah, there are people that want those. They aren't chronic care patients, but for some reasons, which can also be as a side effect of some other drugs they are taking, they need to replace certain vitamins that are deficient in their body system. And those are the people we classify under wellness plans. So for wellness plans, we have essential vitamins, people that just need to take vitamins and supplements. We have people that want to detoxify their system.
Mm-hmm.
We have people that need sexual health, that have sexual health needs. We have pregnant mothers that need to take vitamins. We have the menstrual care for women. We have for PCOS. Then under the specialized care, we have the list is really long.
Mm-hmm.
People that manage pain, people that have heart conditions, ulcer, mental health conditions, diabetes, asthma, eye care issues, cancer. The list is really long. For us, it is that if you have a medication need, pharmacy will solve it for you on a monthly basis.
Okay. I just want to ask a question about the guest plan, because I read it up in your website as well, how you might not necessarily want to have a monthly thing, but like you can check out on some vitamins and stuff like that. I want to ask this in relation to like prescriptions, right? What kind of drugs do you allow guests to be able to buy, that won't pass through this whole process, maybe one time buy, right? And what kind of drugs can they not buy as guests?
Okay. As guests, you can't get any chronic care plan, any special care plan.
Okay.
You are unable to do that. So we created as guests because we spoke to some of our customers
Mm.
and we realized that sometimes some people are on medications for themselves, but they have seen a family member or a loved one that needs a particular care plan, say a PCOS care plan,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to buy for them.
Yeah.
So they want to check out easily as guests. They don't want to have to create accounts for all of those people and go through the onboarding. So
Oh.
regular over-the-counter medications that you can buy, vitamins, menstrual plan, um, you can get that when you check out as guest. However, checking out as guest does not mean that you don't go through the personalized approach. Even when you check out as guest, it just makes it easier for you to pay. You don't have to create an account with pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
A care specialist will still speak to you to understand what your needs are. The boxes are personalized for you. So we need to have a proper understanding of what your needs are so that the box is not just useless. People get medications that they don't use and the medications end up expiring. People are allergic to different medicines. People have side effects from different medicines.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, we don't want to provide medications for you that are useless. What we're delivering to you is what you need and will give you the health benefit you're trying to get.
Mm-hmm.
So, for every plan, whether you're checking out as a guest or you're creating an account with pharmacy, a care specialist will speak to you to assess your needs.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I don't know that's how it calls it. If I can check out those guests, I might as well, because some, drug abuse can easily happen, buy one
Mm-hmm.
drugs, etc. Okay. Then the question about the costs, right? And your business model. So basically, if you sell at cheaper prices, then how do you guys still make money? Right. So what's your business model precisely? This is like especially for maybe like investors or people that just want to understand.
Right. So, I think you mentioned something about drug abuse. I think I just quickly talk on that.
Okay.
For chronic care medicines and prescription only medicines, we require that the customer uploads a recent prescription, an up-to-date prescription that will be validated by our team before we go ahead to supply that medication. So we need you to upload your prescription. If you don't have a prescription, then we cannot offer you that medication. The best we can do is refer you to one of the doctors we have a partnership with, and they can go ahead to assess your situation and determine if you need that medication and write you a prescription.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do we make money? Interesting. So we make money in different ways. We have two approaches. We have a B2B approach and a B2C approach. The B2C approach is business to consumer from people that sign up to use pharmacy. We charge them the cost of the medications. And you're right, it's lesser than what you would get in retail pharmacies, but I'll explain how it works. For retail
So
pharmacies,
sorry,
you have to buy these
before you even answer
medications.
this question, I'm guessing like whoever like you buy the medicines from, right? It's require a license. I know that is necessary in Nigeria, right? So to ask that question as well, how do you guys buy? Do you guys have the license to buy from wholesalers, or do you guys buy them from the retailers, your drugs?
Oh yeah, that was what I was going to explain. We buy from wholesalers. I'm a pharmacist. I'm a licensed pharmacist.
Okay, okay.
So we have the license to buy these medications from wholesalers, distributors, and sometimes manufacturers of these medications.
All right, nice.
Right. So in retail pharmacies, they buy these medications from, as I said, wholesalers, distributors. And when the medications come, they have to add a markup, which is dependent on many different things: their current overhead, the rent, the location they are in,
Mm-hmm.
the source of the medication. All of this adds up to the markup that they put on the medications.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that means it can be very expensive
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. Yeah. For us, because we buy directly from the source, we're able to control what our markup is. And we don't have that large overhead. You
Oh,
understand? We don't hold the stock we have are for people that have signed up to get medications monthly.
okay.
So we're buying what the customers will pay for. So we're making money already because people are paying for these drugs. They are buying these drugs. We have a markup on these medications, which accounts for part of our profits,
Mm,
and we deliver directly to the customers.
okay.
Yeah.
But I'm
So
guessing
we
like
make money that way. I'm
storage,
sorry?
like to store the drugs, like the stock that you have, right? Like warehouse or storage space, all of that. It's still an overhead in a way because you still need to protect the drugs before you send them out. Or do
Yeah,
you?
so that's that.
Okay.
So that's why I said that the medications that we buy are
Mm.
for people that have already paid to get these drugs every month.
Oh, okay, okay. All right,
So
right.
we're not stocking a pharmacy. We are buying that Musa has said he needs to get medications for the next 3 months and he wants drug XYZ. So we have drugs XYZ for you for the next 3 months.
All right. Yeah.
And because I have worked in this space for a while, I have personal contacts with these wholesalers and distributors, and they're able to offer us better pricing when we are, if we buy or when we buy a large quantity, then we're able to leverage reduced costs from the wholesalers and distributors, and we can add that up to our markup and still make money.
All
Yeah.
right. Uh,
Um,
then B2B, I think.
Oh yes, so we work with businesses also. Um, as I said, we work with providers, we work with physicians, we work with HMOs, and we work with employers also, and also retail pharmacies. For our B2B play, we're able to get some commission on offering these medications to the users of these different services. And that's how we make money from them also. we have this B2B approach because the HMOs already cater to a lot of patients. They call them enrollees.
Mm,
We're able to facilitate access and support of these medications for the HMOs.
okay.
And that means we're able to deliver care to many more people through pharmacy than a one-to-one approach.
All right. Okay, interesting. Uh, thank you for explaining that. I think like it makes it just much clearer, especially even as regards the understanding the plans as well, like how the plans fix into the business model. Because sometimes one of the problems with finding funding for Nigerian businesses is that people don't really understand the business models of the businesses at the end of the day.
Mm.
I want us to like talk about like the broader picture, right, which is pharmacy in Nigeria. And but like let's start from pharmacy around the world, right? Big pharma. What do you think are the problems that ultimately limit Nigeria to serve a bigger market, right? Because with the wholesalers and just by the amount of people served, right, that we can, so the amount of pharmacies that we can have in Nigeria, if we had if strikes was not a thing, right, the amount of people that we can have and the amount of manufacturers that we can have, right, we can supply, even if it's just the African market, right? We can supply a large portion to the African market and then the world at large. From your perspective, running pharmacy right now, what do you think is the biggest problem? Is it logistics? Is it corruption? Like, what limits Nigerian pharmacists, right, manufacturers, and maybe people like you, right, with this kind of businesses to just reach out much broadly?
Hmm. That's an interesting question. I think I think that it's hard to say one main problem.
Okay.
Um, I think that the problem with the Nigerian pharmaceutical industry is also largely the problem in Nigeria. The systems don't work.
Well, in this case, what
Uh,
is the system?
the healthcare system, it's broken.
All right.
Like every healthcare stakeholder, they have their individual sector problems. The hospital sector has problems. The pharmacy sector has problems, and the entire thing
Mm-hmm.
is killing the healthcare system in Nigeria. For the pharmaceutical industry, we have to battle with logistics,
Mm-hmm.
communication, regulatory, um, patient problems, trust.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there are pharmaceutical industries in Nigeria that are really, really making huge attempts to encourage the buy naira to grow naira thing,
Mm-hmm.
where they're manufacturing some of the medications here. I know there are a few of them that have been certified by WHO as compliant with good manufacturing practices. But the quality of the medications from many of them is still not at par with the medications that are imported. There's a lot of dependence on imported medications. Um, and then when you have the imported medications, you still now have to struggle with getting licensing for these medications. I created market entry opportunity for um, a leading Europe European supplement company. Oh God, did I say that right? They
Mm-hmm.
make supplements in Europe, and they wanted to get into the Nigerian market space.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 2019/2020. And it was a great brand. It was very effective. It was quite affordable.
Mm-hmm.
But we struggled for months to be able to get the licenses required to bring in these medications to Nigeria.
Mm,
And I recall the back and forth going to NAFDAC, going to this other person. It was a lot. The system is extremely broken. You
mm,
have to struggle with getting to speak to the right person because I mean, corruption is everywhere in the system. You need to find the right person to link you up to who you need to speak with for them to even start to look at your documentation. And then you have to make all of those payments and wait for like what 9 months before you even get like an approval to bring in these medications. While the pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria are trying to provide these medications also, but they have to struggle with what? Manpower, they have to struggle with electricity, they have to struggle with taxes, they have to just where I'm leading to. Like
yeah.
the problems for them to try is a lot, even when they are trying.
Mm,
And the problems with bringing in alternatives that have already been manufactured from other countries at great prices is also a lot because you have to tick all of the boxes, which are unending. Um, so
mm,
yes, I think that trust in the system is really broken. The system isn't working, and
mm,
even the players within this space are frustrated. One of the major frustrations when we started pharmacy was logistics. Running an e-commerce business in Nigeria is hard because you have to literally beg logistics to work and it still won't work. We're
mm,
trying to facilitate access to medications all over Nigeria, but we need to get the right logistic partner at the right price to deliver at the right time because people need to get their medications on time to stay healthy. You need to struggle with, and these logistic services have their own problems too,
mm.
taxes, pilfering, personnel management, FX. it's it's a lot. So as I said, I don't think that there is one main problem. It is just that the entire system is broken. And for us to be able to compete with existing markets within Africa alone, then we need to be able to get it right here in Nigeria and be able to provide medication needs to Nigerians first or a large percentage of the populace before we can stretch out this service to neighboring countries. I think that we can do it.
Mhm.
Um, I just don't think that there are many odds in our favor to get it done for people that are actually trying to build it.
Hmm. Um, the wicked problems. Yeah. What is right, especially after you have said the problems. But what is the dream for you for pharmacy at least, like maybe in the next 10 years, 20 or 5 years? I mean, I know like it's a lot of uncertainty and things happening, but ideally, what is the dream for you for pharmacy?
Right. I mean, so even with the uncertainties, we're still going to grow pharmacy. We're still going to be successful at this
I love it.
because what drives us is really the passion behind seeing that we can actually build a solution to solve this problem that over 130 million Nigerians have. And that's just Nigeria.
Mhm.
Our aim is to deliver 1 million prescriptions across Africa in 5 years.
When did you guys start again?
We launched for early access in February of 2021. We recently got out of beta in Q2 of 2022. And
Mm.
now we have a wait list of over 10,000 people
Whoa.
that want to use pharmacy, and we have started to onboard them and extend the service to them.
And what's the current capacity that you guys, how many patients do you guys currently deliver to as at today?
Um, as of today, wait, I'll tell you as at the end of our beta. As at the end of our beta in Q2,
Yeah.
we were doing 250 customers,
All over Nigeria.
growing at 40%. Yes, I mean, we have footprints in 15 states in Nigeria,
Okay.
but we can deliver to all 36 states. These 15 states are just where we've had customers sign up to get to use pharmacy from.
And you said growing 40%, is that year on year or what?
No, month on month.
40 month on month.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting. Okay. And imagine,
yeah.
I don't even want to think about when 10,000 people come, the logistics. How you have to start?
Right.
Because it's what like 1,000. No, okay, has it reached 1,000? Yeah, it's more than 1,000% increase, like
Mhm.
3,000%. But do you guys plan to onboard them this year or like space it out in segments, maybe 100, maybe another 200, etc.
Oh, we plan to onboard them all this year.
Yeah.
We're
And then
very realistic. We're doing this in batches, though.
okay, okay.
Yeah, we're doing this in batches. We're doing this in batches because, hey, people want to test out pharmacy. We'll provide the solution to them, but there are still people problems.
Mm,
So at the end of the day, say roughly we end up at like 5,000 monthly.
okay.
Yeah, but yes, it's going to be overwhelming to take on 10,000 people at once. So we're batching the onboarding and we already started.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 million people by 2025. Is that in 5 years, 2027? Is that what I hear?
Yeah, 1 million across Africa.
Okay. Good luck. Like I'll just just thinking about Nigerian and when I mean logistics, like the people that actually deliver the services. So literally the transportation alone, not even to talk about like documentation and like I'm trying there's
I
no
think
error.
what's worked for us is that we use third party logistics services.
Okay.
So we don't handle the deliveries ourselves. We don't have to invest in bikes or
Mm,
hiring dispatch riders. And because it's a monthly thing, we're not sending our medications today and sending out tomorrow. We're able to properly plan. We do a lot of supply planning. We know that refills should go out by 15th of the month
mhm,
to XYZ location. That way we can properly plan the deliveries to that region
mm.
ahead of time. So it's less cumbersome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So I guess let me not ask further because there's like 1 million 2027. I believe it's very achievable, very possible. 2023. Hopefully, things start to become on the right path at least. Towards towards
Hopefully.
towards maybe a country that will be able to allow businesses function as they should. But to add to this, then what is your personal Nigerian dream? So maybe this can include pharmacy, but like more for Adeola Ayoola, like what is your own Nigerian dream? Do you even have one?
At different points in my life, I've had Nigerian dreams. At some point, I had no Nigerian dream. Um, but yes, there's definitely a Nigerian dream. I think that Nigerians are extremely patriotic people. Even with all of the happenings around, even with all of the frustration, people still have that passion. And it's evident when there is a win from Nigeria, the way people celebrate and like, oh, that person is a Nigerian. I remember what's her
Toby
name? Yes,
Amusa.
Toby. Oh my God. Internet went crazy. It
Yeah.
was intense. Everybody had teary eyes and we're like, oh my God, there is hope for Nigeria. And those moments are really beautiful to see. I wish that I would have many more of that. Um, I wish that we had in Nigeria where people can speak and not be criticized for speaking.
Mm.
I mean, it won't leave my memory what happened October 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely won't leave anyone's memories.
Did you
And in
participate?
Nigeria, where we don't have to, I'm sorry.
Were you out for the answers? Were you in Lagos by
Oh
that point?
yeah, I was. Yeah,
Oh,
I was.
so I
I
mean,
went and I
it's more
protested.
real for you, I guess.
Yeah,
We did. Yeah.
in Nigeria, where that doesn't happen ever again. In Nigeria, where people have healthcare needs, and I'm talking healthcare because hey, this is the space I operate in. But people have healthcare needs and they are promptly attended to. It's very common to see accident victims be rejected from the hospital these days because they can't afford it or there isn't a family member or they need to get a police report before anything can even be administered to them.
Sorry,
In Nigeria, where
I know
what?
you're Nigerian dreams, but I just want us to dwell like that. Every time I hear that a patient has been brought, I mean, I understand, yeah, maybe you don't have the money. I'm okay because it's still a business at the end of the day, right? But then the police report thing, like from a pharmacist, like for me, someone that's not even in medicine, right? It makes me angry. That issues like that, like somebody about to die, you're asking them to bring a police report. From a pharmacist perspective, and maybe somebody in the field, like how can we just create a way around this, like around bringing police reports for injured victims who need care ASAP?
I I don't think that asking, and here is my own personal opinion,
Mhm.
I don't think that asking for police report is an entirely bad thing,
Mhm.
right? I am I try to understand where people are coming from.
Mhm.
Um, if they are requesting for police reports, maybe you want to ask why.
Mhm.
Why do they need a police report before they start to attend to people? Um, it has happened in many instances that accident victims are rushed to the hospital and say they die or they need like emergency care, but nobody knows where they are. Their family members can't find them. The police report will make it easy for people looking for these people to find them and locate them. The problem is in the approach. If patients are being denied care until there is a police report
Mhm.
in an emergency situation, then there is a huge problem. So maybe the problem we want to solve is getting police report faster or finding an alternative to police report that suffices when there isn't a police report that comes. I, I have seen it happen many times where the hospital will just turn back the patient because, hey, you need a police report. But they're also trying to save their heads.
Yeah.
If the patient dies and the family comes up to say they have harvested my child's organ in the hospital, nobody knew she was there. They
Mhm.
need something to protect themselves also. And that's why I said the entire system is broken.
Mhm.
Instead of fighting that police reports be provided before emergency care is administered, maybe what we want to fight for is a faster way to get a report
Mhm.
or a way to document publicly or like a database that says all accident victims between 1st of August and 13th of August. If you're searching for your loved one, then please go on there and you will find their details. Then you can reach out to the hospital.
Mhm.
Maybe a solution like that is what we want to invest our time and energy in rather than fighting why there needs to be a police report before
Yeah.
attending to an emergency case.
But what if they even okay? All right, I get your point. Because I was just thinking, for most of the victims that these cases are that we hear of these cases, right? I mean, mostly people that maybe are on the road traveling, and then maybe they're like what a state away from their home base, or like 5 states away from their home base, right? And in the road accident, on the road to the next state with their destination, then there's an accident. At that point, right, I'm thinking, the person is all alone. Like, how they don't even know the area, right? So, okay, I guess I agree with you in that sense, in the sense that thinking about this, the process, right, and the way of getting that report is probably the best option. Because in my head, it's humanly impossible to ask somebody to bring a report when they are bleeding out, right?
Mhm.
They can't even think of any other thing, right? They're just trying to, like, the energy needed is the energy to try and survive, like, even mentally,
Mhm.
right? To try and stay there, right? And then let me not rant, but I agree with you. We just need to
There
work.
are problems.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted your Nigerian dream with a Nigerian problem. Sorry.
But really, it is that a system that works, a system that really, really works. That's the Nigerian dream. When we have a system that works in all the sectors, then people want to live here, use their talent here, and earn and grow what we have. But when the system doesn't work, I have recently been speaking to a lot of people that have jackpot, and there are many. And
And
the main thing
a
is
lot of them are in your industry, health. I mean, you can't blame them, honestly,
exactly.
but
But when you ask them, it is that they want a better system. You are trying so hard to build a solution, but
Mhm,
you're frustrated every single day because you have to deal with power issues, you have to deal with fuel price, you have to deal with
mhm,
hiking diesel price, you have to deal with security issues.
mhm.
I just want to build a solution. Like, let me focus on the solution I'm trying to build. I don't want all of these other problems. When you have internet issues, that one is a big problem too. But anyway, when all of this is taken out, and you can relate, I
Yeah,
am sure, when
yeah.
all of this is taken out, you can better use your time, energy, and resources to building something that works, to doing quality work, to enjoying the little money you have even after taxes have been deducted.
Mm.
But here you're making the money and you're going through all of these problems. It's frustrating.
Which is also to like mind blowing, like say that we hear like Nigeria is currently, in terms of VCs and funding, right, for tech, we currently like lead in Africa, right? And I'm guessing I don't know the Paystack, or the Andela or the Flutterwave, right? These guys, right? Part of their cost is generator. Going to go and buy fuel and diesel, right? If you can just even remove that, that can easily translate to better use of resources, or even possibly profits, right, for the company. And so we are quote unquote leading in investments, or we're quote unquote, you hear of different Nigerian startups based in Nigeria, right, doing all these things, right? And you just wonder if only just electricity itself, like if you can only fix the electricity, I'm just imagining that, like it will nearly be without competition, at least in Africa, because we are doing all of this without, by paying for so many things that in other places, right? Even in like Ghana, or even like in Cotonou, right? They have a level of electricity
Mm,
that if Nigeria had, right, it would just alleviate so many problems from people's
yeah,
lives.
yeah.
Oh, the Nigerian me is coming out. I apologize. Yeah. What Adeola, it has been so wonderful listening to your story from, primary school, attending Catholic schools, all the way to. So sorry, by the way, your co-founder, like, is he better now?
Oh yeah, it was just a cancer scare. He didn't have cancer.
Oh, okay, excellent. Thank God for that. Yeah, like how you work, and then maybe the solution you're providing, which I think it's necessary. And especially because you identified it was necessary by actually being in the positions and the places whereby the problems existed. And I'm just like thank you on behalf of like the people that are currently getting medications for you, the 10,000 people that will benefit, and the 1 million people that will benefit from what pharmacy is doing. We really need it, and we hope, right? When things get tougher, um, that you guys will still be providing the solutions, but hopefully things will get better.
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen. It's been great speaking with you. I have enjoyed every bit of this conversation. And I mean, I look forward to speaking more when things are even better.
yeah.
So I can tell you, hey, I told you we do 1 million, we're on 2 million.
Amen for that. And like even like a 10,000 milestone, right? By 2023, by God's grace, I'll just check up on you and be like, Adeola, remember we had podcasts? You said there were 10,000 you wanted to onboard. How many have you onboarded now? I'll be your conscience in that sense, right? Get another
So,
podcast. Right. Thank you, Adeola Ayoola. Do you want to shout out to maybe your team members, anybody you're working with, as they listen to this episode before we round up?
yes, I think my team is great. I'm definitely sure I can't do this without them.
Okay.
We have to, fight a lot to get it right for the patients, but they are great. They are awesome. I think it can only get better from here. Thank
Mm.
you for being a part of pharmacy, and big thank you to our patients, our customers, our providers that have taken the bet on us, trusting us even though the system is broken, and we keep working hard to not let that trust you have in us be broken. Thank you, and we hope to continue to do more.
Thank you, Ayola. Speak to you next time we'll speak because I know even if you don't want me, I'll come back to you and ask for more for more podcast conversations.
I'll be here.
All right.
Thank you very much.